And you said that you were an actor. What do you do with acting?
I do comedy,
Okay.
play bad guys sometimes.
He's just a kid.
See Austin Powers.
Uh-huh.
I played a little role in part 1.
Okay.
Stars.
Smashing idea, man. Yeah, look at you. Yeah.
I'm a professional fighter,
What kind of fighter?
MMA. You can find me in Wikipedia, believe it or not.
How did you do in your fighting career?
I lost all my fights. I was in UFC 4.
Years old and holds belts in Taekwondo and Judo, and is the master of the black t-shirt of Joe Sando. Please welcome from Huntington Beach, California, Joe Sun.
This is the story of the most disgusting, evil, vile MMA fighter on planet Earth. And at the end of this video, you would understand what I'm talking about. Joe Sun was a mixed martial artist fighter who retired with a record of 0 wins and 4 losses. Though he appeared as Kim Leopoldo's cornerman in UFC 3 in 1994, he made his official debut at UFC 4. Billed as a Taekwondo 3rd Dan block belt and founder of his own so-called mixed martial arts, Joe Sando, he faced Kenpo karate fighter Keith Hackney, who beat his friend Kimo in UFC 3 and whom he outweighed by 30 pounds but was 7 inches shorter. Sun managed a takedown and a front headlock attempt, but Hackney countered with repeated groin punches, legal under the event's rules at that time. Hackney punched Joe's balls at least 20 times and then squeezed Sun's throat with his pronated left hand, leading Sun to tap out and be eliminated from the tournament. After his UFC fight, Sun competed in a K1 kickboxing match against Nobaki Kakuda. Sun initially led with his body shots and knees, scoring a mild knockdown with a right hook, but Kakuda eventually knocked him out with a high kick and punches. In 2012, Sun debuted in the Pride Fighting Championships, fighting Yasuke Imamura at Pride The Best Volume 2. Sun infamously wore a leopard thong with the Pride logo, eye makeup, and a bowler hat. And he also hugged Imamura during the stare down. The bout was short though, with Sun quitting after being taken down and nearly sliding out of the ring, citing an elbow injury. In April 12, 2002, Sun participated in another bout against Joe Moreira. After a brief exchange of strikes, Moreira drew blood and Sun refused to continue, leading to the fight being called. The result was officially listed as a submission. Sun returned to Pride in July, facing Jukai Nakajima, but gave up again after being injured by a throw on his head. Sun also briefly wrestled professionally in Japan, facing several opponents at all-time Japan Pro Wrestling Seconds Wrestle 1 event and performing as a singer and a dancer for the Hustle's 3rd event. Sun is best known for his role as Random Task, a parody of the James Bond character Odd Job in the 1997 movie Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. This was his final film role. Previously, he appeared in several low-budget action films, including Joshua Tree and Blood Fist, Human Target, and several other low-budget movies. In 1994, he played the main villain in the Lorenzo Lamas action film Bad Blood. Sun also had a supporting role in Shoot Fighter, Fight to the Death, and a leading role as the main villain in its sequel, Shoot Fighter 2. If you notice, in his acting career, he was casted a lot as the villain. It would turn out this was for a valid reason. Joe Sun was first arrested for kicking in the door of a roommate's car. He pleaded guilty to felony vandalism on May 16, 2008, whereupon he was sentenced to probation and 60 days in jail. On August 18, 2008, he was taken into custody and given an additional 90 days in jail due to a probation violation for failing to report to the Department of Probation and keeping them informed of his current residence. As a condition for his original plea agreement, Son was required to provide a DNA sample, and this is where things got really dark. In early October 2008, his DNA sample was linked to a sexual assault on Christmas Eve 1990. Mind you, this dates before he debuted in the UFC. Already in custody for a probation violation, Son was arrested at the Theo Lacey facility on October 7, 2008. Son was initially charged in the Orange County, California with 5 counts of sexual assault, 2 felony counts of forcible sodomy, 2 felony counts of sodomy in concert by force, 7 felony counts of forcible oral copulation, and 1 felony count of sexual penetration by a foreign object by force. He faced a maximum of 275 years if convicted. Son and an accomplice actually tortured and repeatedly sexually assaulted the victim before releasing her with her pants tied around her eyes. During the trial, the woman said that Son told her, "It's Christmas, this is your lucky day." Before jury selection began for his trial in early August 2011, the initial charges against Son were dropped, having expired due to the statute of limitations. Son was then charged with a conspiracy to commit murder and torture, crimes which have no statute of limitations. In late August, Son was found guilty of 1 felony count of torture. During the trial, the Orange County District Attorney's Office maintained that both Son and his co-defendant pistol whipped their female victim, repeatedly threatening to kill her, and sexually assaulted her before finally releasing her. Gaetian, who was 40, pleaded guilty to 1 felony count each of kidnapping, sodomy by force in concert, rape in concert, forcible oral copulation, and forcible rape, with a sentencing enhancement for committing rape while armed with a firearm. He was sentenced in January 28, 2011 to 17 years and 4 months in a state prison. On September 19, 2011, Son was sentenced to 7 years to life. But lo and behold, things get even darker. In October 2011, Son was accused of killing his cellmate, who was serving 2 years for failure to register as a sex offender in the county in February. The incident happened on October 10, 2011 on B Yard Reception Building 5 at West Coast State Prison. The beating occurred at 5:25 p.m. and Garm died 25 minutes later from multiple blunt force trauma. After the killing, Son was moved to solitary confinement. On September 13, 2013, Son was charged with Garm's murder. At his trial in 2017, he was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter and received a 27-year sentence. He is now serving 34 years to life. This is the story of the most evil, disgusting MMA fighter on planet Earth. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think there's anybody who's worse than this guy in the MMA world? The man wasn't even that good of a fighter, or not good at all, as he didn't win 1 fight. But you could tell he had dark demons in him. I'm Marshall Yu, and I make combat sports content. If you've reached this part of the videos and you want more documentaries and stories from the MMA and boxing world, please like this video, share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys later.
And you said that you were an actor. What do you do with acting?
I do comedy,
Okay.
play bad guys sometimes. Did you see Austin Powers?
Uh-huh.
I played a little role in part 1.
Okay. What else have you do? You just act? Is that how you make your living, just acting and
I'm a professional fighter,
what kind of fighter?
MMA. You can find me in Wikipedia, believe it or not.
How did you do in your fighting career?
I lost all my fights. I was in UFC 4. I did Pride 2002, February and July. I lost both fights. I pro wrestled there for a little while. It was going good, but I didn't sign the contract.
Okay, Joe, let me tell you what the deal is here, okay? Young girl, 19 years old. You know, late at night, early morning of Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, 1990. She's driving home to one of those big apartment complexes out on Burgers. Okay? She parks in the carport. Two guys jam her in the carport. They grab her, throw her in the car, drive her some distance away.
That's bad.
It's very bad. And the DNA tells us it's you. Okay?
Wrong guy.
You recognize anybody in that? That's you, right?
That's me.
And what we did, showed that to the girl who was kidnapped. She goes, 100% certain, Sam, I've seen that face every night I go to bed. She said, that's the face I've seen of the guy who kidnapped me, one of the guys who kidnapped me and raped me. I mean, just that alone screws you, okay? No doubt about it, okay? And the DNA is saying, yes, you're the guy. And you're sitting here saying, how is that gonna fly, Joe?
This is scary. You know, I can't tell you something I don't know.
Well, you do know, is it?
And you know, you say you have this evidence, you know, and it's scary.
Mm-hmm.